Welcome back to the Mob Jazz podcast. You're joined by Melvin,
Magic in the building.
our voice, and it's been a long time coming.
Long time.
Young legend.
The man
What
of
does
the
he are,
people.
bro? Welcome, bro.
Thank you for having me, man.
So glad to finally have you, man.
I
I was tired of meeting you. I mean, like, bro, when are you coming
when
on,
are
man?
you coming, bro? That almost became like a song, man.
Yeah.
Take it to studio.
You know, in
Go number
Sato,
one.
we were recording you while you were performing on Saturday. A number of guys will ask me when you are coming onto the pod.
Really?
Yeah. I told him, guys,
It's
he's
like, you
coming.
relax.
Relax.
Everything will be
Calm
delivered
down.
fresh.
Calm
Yeah.
down.
Right.
Indeed.
And indeed,
Here we are.
How's everyone
We
feeling,
here.
man? What do we start with?
I won't lie, I'm full, bro.
Same here,
Cool,
man.
bro.
Bro. It's crazy.
yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
but luckily we're holding his mic here, so it might help.
Yeah.
Balance the
Anytime now.
It's trying to get off the...
To be honest, bro, this mic is putting some pressure on my stomach.
You will regurgitate.
Lucky heavy, bro.
That last belch was a bit, a bit tasty.
I
man.
see.
I tasted something in that belch. Magic, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good.
Mm.
Feeling grateful. Saturday, I lost my phone and I have it. It's actually what I'm using to record. See me right now.
Right.
Yeah.
We give God thanks. You know, funny enough, that's like my... And I don't want to jinx myself. That's why I don't really like telling these stories. But I'll tell it. That's like the third time that I have lost a phone and found it in that night.
This particular phone?
That one is the second time. My previous phone that finally got stolen, which was my first phone, I'd lost it before. And I got it back that same night. And it's always like a crazy story, like how we get it back.
I don't even know where the last one was stolen was.
That was the last one stolen.
The last one was, it was regular stealing. Like the guy pickpocketed me.
Yeah,
Just went home, started collecting my coins for a new one, bro.
I feel like on that note, you just finish what your weekend was like, so we can.
Oh, that was definitely the highlight. It was both the highlight and like downside, because every time I think about that moment, I feel like I'm back in that moment. But I tell you, it's like a panic attack. Like, oh my gosh, I almost lost this thing. But my weekend was nice. Friday I was at home. Then Saturday we went for... Actually, no. Friday I went to Shook. I was at Kush with Raymond. We passed by for a bit. From there, I went home. Saturday went for this... what's it called? Shine your light. Turn on your light.
Turn on your light.
Turn on your lights. I turned on my lights, blah, blah, blah. Then from there went for Jameson. I was also sick.
And friends.
Jameson and friends. Widen the circle. That's what that one's called. It was also good. That was my weekend international. Sunday, I didn't want to get out of the crib.
I can imagine.
I was like, nah.
Let's
Like,
Nah, I had a good week last week, bro. Really good week. I did this thing called enrollment, which means I signed in this giant book that just has all the names of the advocates in the country.
Nice.
So that's a big
It's
deal,
an
bro.
actual giant book.
It's a book, bro. It's a literal book, and every advocate just has one page.
Of
So
the
on
book.
that page, it's your name, the date that
Nice,
you're signing.
nice.
Do they tear out your page or do they photocopy it for you?
No, your page stays in that book. They give you a certificate.
Oh,
Yeah.
How
Everyone-
big is that book?
how big
It's
is
a
it?
big book. I'm sure it's not just the only
the whole
book,
country?
It's a big book, yeah.
One book.
Yeah. It's called The Role of Advocate. It's very cool, bro.
like
But I'm
from-
sure there's several.
Like from the inception.
Like
from the
edition.
beginning.
Yeah, from the first
First lawyer.
advocate. There's a guy whose advocate number is like 01.
What year was that?
No idea, bro. I just know mine was 601.
601.
6014 is my number.
Oh.
That's
That
gonna be
means
like
six-
Yeah,
that's
like
fewer than
6,000.
I
I don't know,
thought,
40.
bro.
6014.
Yeah.
But that's still crazy, bro. 6014 advocates only.
That's actually wild.
That's
Yeah.
mad. That's mad. Anyways, so it was a big week, bro. It was a big week for me. Weekend was cool. I enrolled on Thursday. Friday, I decided to just stay in the house and give myself a day. I already mentioned in the last pod how last week started with like funerals and sadness. So that weekend I was just trying to like just blow some steam off, bro. Friday I found a new boat, bro. Have you guys seen that thing on TikTok of the floating island? Like a floating
The
like
recycled
bar.
one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to that place. Right now it's docked in Port Bell, New Zealand. So we went to it. It's really like a shack, but it's sitting on like 10 tons of plastic, so it floats.
Nice.
Yeah, so we chill there for a bit.
Are there two different floating islands?
It's the same one.
The one which, like the ground is kind of soft and like when you step
it's
on it,
wood,
like the
bro.
pressure.
It's like a shack.
No, the one I went to was this guy basically goes to these swamps. There's some swamps in Lake Victoria somewhere, and he literally cuts the
And
land
takes
and
the
pulls
same
it
guy.
by boat.
Same,
That's the same thing, eh?
yeah, same guy.
Ah.
But the floating island. It's literally a bar, but it's sitting on 10 tons of plastic. Those are islands he is pulling. He just docks them somewhere. There were some that were docked there in New Zealand that he pulled.
Wait,
Very cool guy.
is that legal to just
It is.
reclaim land like
It
that?
is because you're doing the government's job. You guys remember when an island crashed into Munyonyo?
Munyonyo?
Yeah. Some cheap big mass of land that was floating just crashed into Munyonyo, as in Speak Resort Munyonyo.
No.
It's a problem, bro. They can cause crashes. They cause chaos, bro. So this guy is just doing the Lord's work, man, to be honest.
And getting acres of land in the
I mean,
process.
he didn't really own it. He didn't own it, but he doesn't not own it.
It's like in
Yeah.
his possession.
Yeah. Yeah.
They tell you plot 4 is now in Mukono, bro.
He didn't even have plots because it's just floating land, bro.
Yeah. Makes
So
sense.
anyways,
Makes sense.
that was Friday. Went to Salama after. It was a good day, good, nice, calm day. Saturday, we did mostly the same things. Turn on your light, and then Jameson. But that turn on your light event was very well organized.
Right, yeah. It was
Very,
actually
very well
impressive.
organized. I don't know how you guys feel about like they're not charging guys for events and just organizing them and letting guys come. Because that seems like what these guys are doing now. This is the second one. The Smirnoff one.
But this
and
one
now
was more like invites, right?
Same was the Smirnoff one.
Was invites as
Yeah.
well?
They just give guys tickets.
Mm.
Or they want to call that inviting, or if you want to call it distribution.
But this one seemed to have fewer guys than the Smirnoff one.
Yeah, I think it was advertised slightly differently.
Yeah. I think this one was more strict on the... Because to be fair, I didn't see anyone selling tickets at the Smirnoff thing either. But how I feel about it, I mean, I feel two ways. On one side, I feel like if you're a company and you're trying to get your brand out there to as many people as possible, it being that exclusive might not necessarily be a good thing. But then also at the same time, if they just allowed anyone in there, maybe I wouldn't have. I never would have phoned my phone, bro. I never would have phoned that thing, man. So I guess it's safer in that regard, like by margins. It's marginally safer because I know someone else who lost her phone.
Yeah.
Hers went permanently.
Yeah, Bambi.
So there's that aspect to it.
The material things.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But decent weekend all around. Started the week with mob gas. Today was rough, but we keep it pushing. Yeah, and now we have one that JR in the stew.
The building.
Yeah,
Mhm.
how was your weekend, man?
Weekend was not too bad, man. Just gigs, performing, acting. Yeah, it's been majorly that this past week. And yeah, it's just been work. The acting really has been taking me last week. And then the weekend was just performing. Neon Lights, Mukono, what. So we're just like in the motion. I was just in motion like this. Just kept moving.
Is this stuff enjoyable for you still? Like, can you perform how you perform the Neon Lights with all that gas and all that energy, and then go and do the same thing in Mukono and still enjoy it?
Yeah, if the energy is right.
Okay.
Because you can tap into a space where the energy is a bit too tense. Find guys on some funny wagwis. It just affects the whole energy. But if the energy is good, now like a neon, everything was just sort of
Perfect.
the sound was good. I usually find
The sound was
a issue with
spectacular,
sound.
bro.
Like I don't know
Oh
what those
my
guys do
God.
with their sound,
Yeah.
but
The
their sound was impressive.
perfect. Yeah,
Like I was not even straining. To, like,
Yeah.
to- and that's very hard to find in Uganda.
I can imagine.
Our sound is a mess. Like to go into a gig and it's like, so we were called to do sound check earlier, which didn't happen because I was like, bro, come for sound check at about 11. Whoa. Bro, I said, are you sure I should come at 11? The guy said, no, we can come after, kind of about 1. 1, yeah? So I got there at like midday, 1. I left at about
Nothing.
4, there's nothing.
Yeah.
But I asked the guys, what's the whole point about doing sound check? Because I go to places and you do sound check and the sound sounds kawa.
And then
You
you
come to
come
perform.
back.
You grab the mic and you're like, bro.
This is not the same mic I use. but-
Just to make sure you get the mic is like, you're kissing the mic literally.
Yeah.
and you look at the sound guys and you're like, no way they come to the sound check. Lo and behold, I didn't do the sound check, but still the sound was dope.
It was good, yeah.
So
Yeah.
No, that sound
I was
was
very
amazing,
impressed with the
bro.
sound.
That sound was amazing.
Even the one in Mokono was actually good as well. So it's like, I don't know what guys are doing with the sound, but lately it's impressive.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love it,
It's
love it,
impressive.
love it, love it.
Would you say that performing is like a very engaging activity? Like, is it tiresome to perform?
It can be, but it shouldn't be that way though. Because I think performing, for me, the way I like to perform is like, it's like I'm chatting to you now. I give you the energy, you send it back. So it has to be transactional in a way. And so what that means is also a testament to how involved how present I am in this moment. Like I have to be present in the moment just to sort of like, I have to love what I do. And also have to be present as well, like be mindful of where I'm at, like the environment I'm in, enough to like create a vibe that gives you and you give back. So it's like a psychology as well attached to it. It's an energy thing. I emanate that energy and you send it back as well. As opposed to it being a thing of like,
I'm
let me just
performing
give
for
let me
you.
give let me show you
Yeah.
guys I'm a bad guy. Like in this country, especially in this country, guys ain't got time for that.
Facts.
You could be a Naz in this joint and guys look at you like they're watching Bookhead.
Facts. Facts.
You know what I mean? Like,
facts.
guys don't have time here. So it's like, which also has to inform the music you make. It's something I also struggled with because I was very bent on like hip hop at the time, like very like lyrical and whatnot in a country like this where guys are sort of like,
Not trying to hear all that
it's
jazz,
like,
bro.
boss, right now,
Where's
I just
the
want to
vibe?
chill and dance, man.
Yeah.
So, so that also had to inform what I release. Because you think the problem with performing is that you think everyone like, because that's the hypocrisy that we have in our space is that people listen to hip hop. You guys listen to who, Lil that, and Lil, all these Lils in the streets. But for some reason, if it's a Ugandan, you want to dance.
I think there's a certain point where that was the case.
I
Like,
think it's different now.
I think it's a bit different now.
How?
I'll give you for me my personal example. I used to listen to a lot of hip hop in, I'd say, when I was in high school and primary school, and that was mainly because that was what was being played on the TVs.
Right.
But these days, when I go out to my way to listen to music, okay, I know that there are a lot of people that still listen to hip hop. He's one of them, but I feel like those are the guys who are now really like, can I say, hip hop heads?
Right.
Yeah. Now it's for me personally, it's like a lot of what you'd call dance music, like the Afro beats, the Amapianos. Yeah. I don't usually listen to like. No.
Do you listen to hip hop?
Right now, not as much. Not as much, to be fair. I listen
You don't
to
listen to these little guys, these little boys and whatnot.
I listen to Lil Baby, but even him is like his top songs, like the one that has gone viral. I listen to Ghana.
Ghana, no,
I listen
no
to
J.
Ghana.
Cole, no Kendrick, none of them.
Kendrick, I listened to his album after a while after it had dropped. I liked it, but I won't lie, it wasn't as much as I listened to, for example, what's on A Good Kid, Mad City, or Damn. Those ones I really rinsed.
Headspace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's cultural, bro. I just think that dancing thing, that's what guys here have like, that's what they've been raised to expect from music, bro. Like when a guy listens to music, it's for enjoyment time, to blast. Guys are not trying to think. Guys are not, and also because music here, the politically charged music was never rap music, bro. If you're going to say something politically charged, sing it to me, bro, and allow me to dance to it a bit.
Well,
but if you start preaching it to me, I'm not trying to hear that stuff. And that's what hip hop, I think, was for a long time, and how guys here started trying to do it in the beginning. But I think even like with you, like a lot of hip hop artists have noticed, we can say something and guys will hear it as long as they can also vibe to it.
True.
You know?
True.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah,
that's
the dynamics have shifted a bit, but I think culturally as well, it's a testament to how we're not willing to consume in this country, generally in this country, we don't want the truth. We don't want to face the truth. So we want you to just keep, like, part of the dancing culture is to keep finessing around these issues, like dance around the issues, tiptoe around the issues, don't face them head on. So why you keep saying that, I'm not trying to hear that. It's because you really, like, you're trying to avoid the truth in hindsight. And so that's what's frustrating to a creative who is also like, it's like you're a gatekeeper of truth. You're like a journalist. So while I want you guys to dance, I also want you guys to know what's going on.
But then if I keep making you dance,
But
you're
if I
going to
keep
keep
dance,
missing the
And the
point.
next artist is going to make you dance, and the next artist is going. Now that's why you play like you go on TV and you play like 10 songs on the countdown. These are the 10 songs on the countdown, and they all sound the same BPM, the same beat, the same pattern, everything. Same producer. You say find like it's been produced like by the same producer the first 5 songs.
Yeah.
It's all formula. It's a formula that guys move with. So it's like it's a cultural thing. The cultural thing is predicated on us not wanting to
Be attentive, man.
So we want to keep lying to ourselves and just that. And for how long? The question is for how long? So it's like, when are we actually going to sit down? You just played, we were playing Cohen off air. And, you know, I what I find admirable about a person like Cohen is, you know, R&B generally, I'd like to say is R&B. R&B generally, like musically, mainstream is dead. Has been dead for a couple of years. But you listen to a guy like that and you're like, bro.
He does it so well.
This guy is just incredible.
So well.
You know? And so it's a thing of how do we find a system here that is sustainable? Just because this music can transcend and go beyond. You can perform that in Masaka. You see the thing as well that we have as creative. I was in Zimbabwe the other day. Last month, I think it was, on a COVID vaccination campaign. COVID vaccination campaign, yeah? And, yo, this country is still far, man. When I perform at Logogo, it's a good thing. I'm humbled to be performing at Logogo, but that is just a tiny, it's like this. I want to go to Zimbabwe, where guys don't even know how to speak English, but I'd still be able to minister to them and tell them the truth while they're dancing. I'd prefer to even do it in Zimbabwe than in Logogo. Logogo, I'd love to come in here, and if I want to be lyrical, let me be lyrical. If I want to be, at least there has to be an environment sustainable to consume that level of depth. But you go to a place like Zimbabwe, Masaka, because that's Uganda. This is not Uganda. Guys who speak English, this is not Uganda. This is just like Quencha, you know what I mean? It's like guys are just playing around. Once you step on like, what's that roundabout? Going to Busega.
Yeah.
That's Kla. That's UG. That's UG. Guys you see on the roadside. Like you just park on the roadside. You see a guy taking fish, a guy who's selling this, a guy who's like that's UG. That's Uganda. Now, how do you tap into those people? That's because at the end of the day, these are the guys we need to reach out to. And that's one of the areas I find most of us fail terribly as creatives. Finding a way to package ourselves to include, to become more inclusive, like to integrate into that system, into those people. You know what I'm saying? Using our skill sets to sort of find a way to get into that. Because I went to Zimbabwe and I was performing this Kazungu songs, and guys, people look at you like
what's this guy doing?
Like, what's this guy doing?
Why are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, obviously they know you. They see you on TikTok, what, but they're like, man. And they give you this thing of, man, you guys went to schools and you guys have money and you guys have all these things.
In our face,
what you're putting in our face, what. And so the idea behind coming to places like Lugogo and Jameson and all these little gigs that keep coming, you know, that are spread out is there's spaces that are supposed to allow us to insert substance for you consumer. Because the thing is, it's not like only for the creative to look good. It's for the consumers to start embracing this converse. The reason why we're having this podcast is to spark conversation. Is to then say, okay, guys, let's not be hypocritical. Let's not. So let me not go to the taxi park and I find guys bumping Jay-Z. Because you can go to the taxi park right now and guys are playing Jay-Z. For real. And then you guys won't have the market to buy my music or to support me or to listen to this substance or to make something of it. And then allow me, when you guys support that, now I'm able to have enough to now take it to places like Zimbabwe, Masaka, you know, and all these other spaces. You know, so it's like what creators are coming now, what creators are doing is they're sort of dumbing down their artistry. They're now becoming, they're watering it down.
Bassist version.
Bassist, because I don't want to go there. You know the song, I heard the song the other day. Boss, that's the baddest song in the country right now.
Hey.
Chai Wenjai, something like that. We're going to Mukono and my boys, and everyone, they play that song like 4 times. My G. Shout out to the guys who did that song, but you guy, I don't know what the guy was saying in that song.
Yeah.
But even the guys I was with, Scholastic and whatnot, were like, boss, for us Ugandans, we don't want to think. And they're legit telling you, we don't want to think.
You know, you guys are going
First
to
we
perform.
want chai.
You guys are going to a university to perform, bro.
Imagine that. And then on top of that, we're going, and then this guy's like, have you checked this website called Population.io? Have you checked that out?
Population.io.
It's a website. It's a thingy. It says it's population.io. So now you type your details like date of birth and so on and so forth, and then it sort of shows you like who you're older than globally.
Wow.
All the statistics pop out in a country. What you guys checked out my stats? I wanted to cry, man. All these guys are playing a song in the meantime. The guys I'm older than in this country.
How many guys?
80%, bro.
Mad. How old are you?
It's not on my third floor.
Hey.
Fresh off the third floor, but
Nice.
I'm all 80%.
Yeah.
That's
I think like
insane,
majority of the
bro.
population is in below the age of 18
Bro,
or something like
And
that.
that's crazy, bro.
80 flipping %.
That's crazy.
And we're here playing games and we're taking things lightly because let me tell you, the next 5 years, we don't know what's about to unfold in this joint. So we've embraced this environment of, okay, guys, let's not take, that's too deep. You know? Okay, then I was on TV the other day and then I'm talking about, you know, intergenerational wealth, transgenerational mindsets, and guys on TV are like, bananga katabe makindi bajeko TV.
Isn't that on air?
Hey, that's the guy promised.
Oh my
The guy's
God.
like, no guy kati please today to come out at one because they joke against it. Now you're focused, like you've been spoon feeding the audience for a long time. You don't want to actually feed them the truth. Now you're concerned about them switching off the TV at the expense of the truth. You know what I'm saying? So now for me, a person like me, what I'm doing right now with everything I do is really to contribute, to do my best to help people start raising a culture of questioning. Like, because unfortunately, time is running and things are happening at a very rapidly accelerated, unprecedented pace.
Facts.
Things are changing, man. This mobile phone is changing people's lives on levels we cannot even, you know, determine. And so, the pretense is what I'm against personally. Like, we should stop pretending like things are okay when things are not okay. When you keep saying, how many guys are mentally struggling in this country?
Million. 14 million.
Bro,
Remember that stat? 14
Remember that
million
stat,
guys are mentally sick.
bro, it's crazy, man.
40 million.
14 million Ugandans
Yeah,
are
that's gonna be
mentally
like
sick.
40 million is our
Those
population.
are the documented ones, bro.
Yeah, 14 million Ugandans are
14.
mentally
14
sick.
million are clinically.
You know, they said mentally sick. So that could mean anything.
Anything.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the point is like, art is art. Music is music. It's either dope or it's not dope. Kendrick is dope or it's not dope. J. Cole is dope or it's not dope. You know what I'm saying? For my fan, those are the biggest artists we have in like hip-hop wise. I'd probably put those three with Drake and them in there, who have sort of managed. That's what I love about Kendrick. He has maintained his artistry, has not compromised it. Obviously, has added elements of dance and you know all those things in there, but the substance is the same. It's driven to empowering the black man in a world that is, you know. So obviously, that's also now a factor. You know, in a society where we've been sold the illusion of inclusion as black men and African men. I'm also a Pan-Africanist in a way, I'd like to believe. And so it's like all these things, how do we find a way of like empowering our people and feeding them the truth? Because unfortunately, or fortunately, the best way you're going to do it is through art.
I think what we're discussing is very important because it speaks to like what the artist's role is in society,
Absolutely.
not necessarily just to entertain. And
Yes.
you brought up Kendrick Lamar, and I think that's also like a guy who's very good in his particular society of
Right.
making current issues that are, what can I say, like that he finds important, how he can impart them to his fellow brothers
Right.
in a way that they will sonically approve of the message.
Right.
I think another person that does that very well in this region is, I think, Burna Boy. He has a
Yes,
lot of political
absolutely.
songs
Absolutely.
that are not necessarily political songs,
Absolutely.
but like the whole song can, like, for example, for the longest time, I didn't know that Soke was a political song, but it's about like how
I
there's
didn't
no
know that as
power.
well, but I love it. I was playing it the other week, man.
Bro.
Badly.
So I think every artist in their own society needs to find a way to like what you've said, like to pass on the truth in a way that the people will accept and
Right.
that's sonically pleasing to them.
Right,
I
right.
think that's the struggle of every artist, like how because they have their message and something burning on their hearts, but they
Yeah.
want to spread it to as many people as possible. And I guess that's like their lot in
Outlet.
this life. Yeah, like that's their, what can I say?
What's that?
That's their struggle, like their everyday struggle and how they can
Actually,
bring out their
wait,
message.
now we have Wanda here.
Yeah.
Last week we had a conversation of Kenzo and Phililotaya.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I did.
What are your thoughts? It's nice to have an artist here. Since we're discussing
Shout
legacy,
out to Kenzo, man. We might even get on a jam soon, so I don't want to get
Nice.
into. I don't want to.
Don't hear him
get
out.
into, I don't want to get into man's.
Yeah.
But I'll probably say that the dynamics are different, man. I saw the other day Chameleon was talking about how they used to distribute music back then. Like they'd put it they put their music in CDs in a Chivan, and a Chivan would drive all the way from UG like up until SA
Selling
CDs like physically like that. And guys from SA would put the music, the Chaka Chakas and them would put the music on that same van and
Same
bring it
thing
down
back.
his ends. That's how those guys used to move product
Mad.
back then, the music back then. There was no digital, nothing. There was one radio at the time. For your song to make it on radio in Uganda at the time on that one radio station, apparently they would sit there like, you'd find a whole panel sat down and they'd be like, okay, why is this guy's song worthy of getting airplay on this radio station? So that's how they would scrutinize creatives at the time. Right now, things are a bit different. Mechanisms are different. People have their different ways of approaching the game. You just have to find your niche and run with it. You know what I mean? So, again, so it's like, man, we have to understand the dynamics of how things work then and now. And so it makes you respect a guy like Bongo Lelotaya, who, you know, even in light of all those, you know, the man had little or nothing to work with, but still got himself out there, man. The guy has a song that plays every Christmas, my G. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, that song plays every Christmas.
Forever.
Now imagine that thing
Once
is
that
on
song plays in a neighborhood, you know Christmas. Has
You know what I
started.
mean?
Get your tree.
Trust me. Now imagine there was this streaming and whatnot in those spaces. Because now you see, I mean, I was on radio the other day in my hometown back in the country. And this guy said, tell the listeners about things like Spotify and iTunes. Explain to them what these things are. My G, this is a country you're working with here.
Mad.
And so you're dealing with people in those parts who have the money. Guys got money, but they don't know where to put that money. Those are the guys we need. Not the guys here in Clark. Clark, the thing is, we're in Clark. It's expensive in a way. You could probably be earning 3 million shillings. You're paying rent. Half the time you're on Bandali Rise and Cruise Lounge. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously you have spare dime for like Burna Boy and the likes, those shows. The rest you're in debt. You're not going to get a chance to what? to buy your boy's album and what? You know what I mean? We need those guys up country who have the money, but they don't know where to put that money. But how are we going to get to them if we don't package a substance that
They don't understand
appeals to them? But for you to even get to them, we need our people here in Kla to know that this is what we need to do. Apart from that, we're going to keep having Western African guys coming in, picking a bag every weekend and taking in, because this country is very good at inviting
other guys.
Yo, when you ask those guys who come from abroad about Uganda, they will tell you, Uganda is
a bag.
incredible.
Yeah.
They cannot believe it. Even investors, when they come down here, it's like, yo, they've not seen any country like UG. The guy comes here with one briefcase. 3 years after, the guy has a range.
Facts.
And for you, they are paying rent at 500K for the past 6 years.
No, I was just talking to some guy
struggling to
who
get by.
was telling me he was seriously looking for just a foreign partner for his business. It doesn't matter if the foreign guy knows anything about them, just for him to just be there. Because having a foreign partner, it legitimizes you
Trust.
in so many guys'
Absolutely.
faces.
Absolutely.
Especially in UG, man. It's mad.
They don't have to do anything. And that's how blessed we are as a country. But we don't quite get it. So it's like, for creatives, like you said, you talk about Burna Boy. I think Burna Boy is the biggest artist in Africa, without a doubt. And most of his substance. And currently, his whole narrative is like, man, my own people don't get me. My own people are fighting me. Like, if you listen to his interviews, he keeps talking about the same thing. I heard this song on his album, Wild Dreams, the other day, and probably I checked out the lyrics as well, and he kept talking about how his own people are fighting him. Like, because the thing is, in our spaces like Africans and whatnot, our dreams have been stifled. Like, we're not allowed to dream beyond the confines of what we've been afforded. You know what I mean? So it's like you existing in this space and wanting to dream of transcending. You're going to be met with resistance because that's what we're accustomed to. For me, as being a creative, coming from where I come from, I faced a lot of resistance. I have family members that don't talk to me to this day because of venturing into the unknown, according to them. You know, so it's like not many people have the thick skin to even make it to places I've actually get into. Myself as being quote unquote a rebel. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you for a fact that it makes me come more alive every passing day. So it's like that's what people like Burna Boy represent. So a guy like Burna Boy is telling you, for me, you guys will get to appreciate me maybe after when a guy has passed. That's when we'll sing that guy's name, like Fela Kuti and them guys. But that's what his entire existence is based on. How do we push the narrative as black people, as Africans, as, you know, things of that nature. So it's like, there has to be a level of, you have to be a visionary as a creative. You're not just a creative to just create bangers that are going to be played for 2 weeks and guys trash in the Kasasido. You know what I'm saying? Then you look for another banger. You know when now like with this song we put out, Pateyani. Now everywhere you go to mana kati mwino kunonya kayimba kala mwana kati munonya ichidanda. Kati mwana mukola umti mwana kati mukola. I'm like, bro, is it you who made Pateyani? You relax. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the point. The point is I need to craft my way in a way that makes sense. Primarily, Burna Boy said this craft is majorly appealing to him, then we catch up to his speed. I don't catch up to you. The moment I start to catch up to your speed, I'm compromising myself. That means I've given you the power. I've handed you the power to make or break me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I talk to many creatives, it's like that's the constant battle. I either have to appease, like fit the mold just to make sure I cater to these people, or I stay true to what I believe in
and take the L.
Because chances are you're going to take that L, man, when you stand for what you believe in. But if you compromise, that means you're at the mercy of the consumer. That means if you're trash, you're trash. If you're the guy, you're the guy. And if you're the guy, it's short-lived. You're going to be the guy for like 1-2 months. And then the third month, guys are like, nigga has washed my whole way, this, that, and the third. Check him in a bin. Because now you're using a formula. What you're doing is like, you have a sound that every other guy has. Now, but as a result, it shows that people are now looking for the truth. When you look at guys like Asake coming with different vibes that people are embracing. That's what this time, people like me coming to a place that I'm at currently is a result of people getting tired of the norm. Especially post-COVID. People got tired of the formula. Like, people are done with the whole facade. They want something different, something unique. So when you see what's currently happening with the climate for creatives in the country is people are looking for something fresh, vibrant, that they can now consume because they've been exposed to the same old generic BS for time. They might not know exactly what they're looking for, but trust me, they're looking for something different. Something different, something that speaks to them, something that is very...
Something more authentic.
Authentic. Yeah. There you go, yeah. That is authentic. But being authentic is not easy in any field, in life, generally.
Oh. There's a price.
There's a price.
There's a price.
To be authentic, you're going to be... Like in science, medicine, civil rights, there are men and women who believe there was more out there. But as a result, they were discouraged, misunderstood, ridiculed, judged, laughed at, mocked. But what they did, the guy who set this table, this guy has instigated an age of wild adventure. Imagine the guy who first did a microphone. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you telling guys I want to do a microphone at the time.
Probably killed. They thought you was a witch.
Mad.
Like, what do you mean?
That's witchcraft.
You know what I'm saying? Are you mad?
Yeah.
But lo and behold, look. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in a space like this, especially Uganda, because the things we want to talk about, like, most of them have happened as a result of us not building a culture where we can openly talk and question the narrative. No one wants to question. Everyone is like, okay, we just turn right because we have to. Our great-grand guys were turning right. Really? You know what I mean? Times are different. First of all, times are different. The way our old folks see life, it's not the way we see life currently because of things are different. So how about we start to now use our platforms, art, expression, painting, whether you're a painter or a cartoonist or a model or whatever you are, start to challenge the narrative, like start to poke. Aside from that, you're going to get lost in the numerics. You're going to be another guy, another dope artist. Because let me tell you, this country has dope
artists, 100%.
There's bare guys that are really good.
100%.
Vocalists, rappers. There's this thing we do called Slam Dog Giants, where we go in the ghetto and find guys in the ghetto who are mad. Find a guy that covers you a nice freestyle, and the guy's like, you see a guy going, come come here. They ask the guys, against Zewa. Oh yeah, against Yes, give me Mupesimuye. The guy just falls in. You don't know what time it falls in, but it falls in. Just the guy could fall in next week on a Monday. Do you know what I mean? But when a guy actually shows you his skill set, the guy is mad.
Yeah.
So you find that there's a lot of guys out there that are incredibly gifted, but gifted is nothing in this country, bro. Nothing. Actually, anywhere, if it's not packaged right. So incentives and what we need to set up is just ecosystems that allow people like us. Because you see, the truth is, as creatives, we also have equally the power to shape the narrative if we got together. Like if people got together, you know what I'm saying? Because what we're doing is we're pushing, we're in a great. Man, when I look at guys like Kendrick, a guy like Kendrick is not supposed to thrive. That guy is an underground rapper. His kind of music does not make it mainstream.
That guy says strictly anti-establishment shit, bro. Purely anti-government jazz.
Trust me. But that guy defied the odds. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people like J. Cole and them. It's like, how do you find a way of packaging these messages and taking them mainstream? That's one thing I'm actually trying to do. That's one thing that people like Chronix and Burna Boy have mastered. Taking these very sensitive things to the mainstream. You can dance, but the guy is telling you you're very stupid, you know. The guy is telling you you're very stupid,
That's
but dance.
That's not
You know what I mean? So yeah.
And also, it's like, you can dance now, but next time when you decide to listen, there's also substance.
There's something, yeah.
Like,
One
that's
day
what
you'll
I'm
be
trying
by
to
yourself.
tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It won't be a vibe. You'll be in a car driving by yourself. You'll be like,
Right.
he's saying something,
Yes.
man.
Yes.
My question is, I mean, okay, it's not really a question, but an observation. I think it was the year before COVID, 2019. Uganda's third biggest import was entertainment.
Really?
Yeah, either 2018 or 2019, one
Import
of the two.
or export? Import.
Import.
Or import?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's one of those things you don't know how to quantify. Like, it's entertainment, but we're talking like concerts and all these other integrities. So you have, they were like, the main thing is not like, say, coffee, then what, but like agriculture. There was something else then. Okay, but you get it. It was the third biggest import.
Entertainment.
I don't know which year it was, but it was pre-COVID. So clearly there's a market for it.
Absolutely.
The question is, I mean, you've been talking about how Uganda has three different, or there are two different. There's Kampala, where we have like, should I say us? They're the guys who, will go to Lugogo,
Yeah.
pay for a thing, and then move. Then there are the other guys.
Yeah.
Now the question is, you see, for example, you said Burna was not accepted in his hometown, and now he's like preaching to the masses,
Right.
should I say? In Uganda, man, I don't know how to ask my question, but even getting out there is also complex, man.
True.
It is.
True. For me, this is what I'm telling you, ecosystems, which I believe is what the new cats are doing. Unlike guys of back in the day. Guys of back in the day believed in running solo. Okay, not solo really, but
You mean like communities?
yeah, communities. Guys of back in the day believed in man because they were working against, like,
You
the
versus
system
me,
was
bro,
against them.
Yeah.
Already the system is not in your favor. Let's establish that. Unlike places like, most recently, Nigeria and Ghana and them, West Africa, South Africa, they're actually putting structures in place to support the creatives, because they've found out that, I like to say, art has the ability to shape culture even more than logical philosophy.
Of course.
So come on, man.
This guy's thinking.
This guy is
Look at this, like,
he's right for the Mac India guys.
Bro, a person can actually create something visually that could take a teacher to teach a whole year on a blackboard. These are things that we don't understand in this space. People, that's what Hollywood represents. Those guys are promoting their cultures more than ever using all these platforms. You know what I'm saying? Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, this, that, and the third. Like, they're shoved up in our faces. And what they do, they bypass your reasoning biologically and head into your imagination. The very most sacred place of our beings, our core. You know what I'm saying? We're creatures of repetition. So every time something keeps getting repeated to us.
Put in your face.
Exactly. Now you start to embrace that narrative subconsciously. So there's a biology attached to this. People don't want the whole thing of come and preach. Okay, You can preach all you want. I've been preached to all my life. I've been told this thing is bad. I've been told whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know all this. Give me something different that can spark and make me excited to not want to get there. How about you package it creatively? But we don't seem to understand that. So we're very hell-bent on the analog of back in the day of like, boom, the industrialization sort of approach, which is also, has getting our education system, which is completely flawed in my opinion. So, again, it's like, how do we embrace it? How do we know that? How do we start to entertain these facts as creatives and as people who are in positions of influence, people who are actually speaking to people? How do we start to? Because the truth is, I honestly believe that the consumers are begging to believe us. We just don't know how to pass it on to them. We live in a country where the journalists themselves are selling propaganda. Because they know propaganda is what sells. Now imagine, Eddie Kenzo and Bongole has been training for 2 weeks. As in, my G. We have all these things going on and we're singing.
This brings me to our first topic. How many minutes? This brings me to our first topic, bro. Let's talk about this Chameleon concert from last week, bro. Obviously, the concert was postponed for whatever reason.
It rained the first time.
Yeah, first time it rained. Friday, finally, it happens. Stage looks insane.
Mad.
Outfits are insane.
The
numbers are insane. But let me tell you guys this. From Thursday when that guy was doing sound check, both the guys were packed outside that
Trust
place.
me.
Guys listen to that sound check. Guys were outside there waiting, bro. So, huge concert, bro. Outfits huge. Dancers go crazy. That thing is televised. They don't usually televise concerts like that. That thing was televised. It was on TV, the whole thing beginning to end.
TV,
really?
I watched that thing from Salama.
What
the
TV?
whole concert, Urban TV.
Wow. Live.
I watched everything, I guess, except the most important part, which I guess I didn't see.
Did they cut it out? I don't know.
I don't know. They might have. Anyways.
Let's tell us what this most important part is.
At some point during the show, he brings out his brother, Weasel. Legend. Everyone's glad to see him. Guys actually didn't first clock who it was because he changed. He has like a fade now. He looks a bit
He has no
different.
dreads.
But he came on with
He
a
did
mask.
have dreads.
He came on with that.
He came on like as a gladiator or something.
Yeah.
It was actually Mandalorian suit.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Chameleon himself?
No, that was his bro. They look
bro.
exactly the same, though, to be fair. Yeah, so he comes on, late performance, I think, because the sound was off at Salama.
Okay.
But, yeah, I didn't see this part when I was watching at Salama until like 2 days ago. When I see it's trending that him and Chameleon shared a kiss. These two bros.
Are they like
They're blood
biological-
brothers. Bro, they look exactly the same. They're bros.
Bro, the guys packed and kissed.
They kissed.
So
They packed. Yeah.
Hey,
Packed
packed.
car.
You know,
Yeah. The guys stretched their arms out like this.
Bro.
No other part of their body touched except their lips. They touched lips, bro. That was it. So now I'm dying to hear what you guys think of this. Let's start, to be safe, let's start with a voice.
Wait,
Let's start with one. All right, let's start with a voice.
nah, but what's funny is I didn't know this was a thing.
Have you not seen the video?
till- I saw the video, but then it's like it has happened many times. Because then after that, I was seeing like pictures from other concerts. I was like, yeah, so it's a
They've
thing.
kissed
I
before,
guess.
yeah. I think the last time it was like him and Palazzo or something.
Yeah.
Was it still Weasel? The other picture?
I think it was Weasel.
Okay.
I think it's happened twice.
I don't know, man. Like,
Then there was a video prior on promo when him and Palazzo were like dabbing.
Yeah.
Yes. Now that's the one that Magic just showed me today.
Yeah.
Ah.
I didn't even know that.
There's a video of them. Okay, Magic said it's dubbing also, but me there, I don't know if it's dubbing,
It
bro.
doesn't look like dubbing to you.
I don't know if it's dubbing.
It's dubbing when it's like you're facing each other, like how you
Yeah, like their legs were
Which
like
is a part of dubbing.
were in between each other. And
What do you
all
think?
They hold
It's
each
like
other's
whining.
waists.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
You call it dancing.
They were dancing.
Suggestive.
But I don't know if it was.
Was it sexual? Or
I don't know if it was sexual. It didn't look
Bro,
sexual
that
to
was
me.
sexual.
It looked playful to me.
Okay, was
And
it
if I let- okay,
I would
let's-
never dance with shadows like that.
Let's first start.
You're playing.
Let's first start with.
So,
Let's start with a kiss. Oh, we can discuss the whole thing. They're two bros, and they seem to be playing like suggestive
This is the
games.
thing. Me personally, I do not know
Ah,
because me, that's not something I would do.
okay. Yeah, bro.
I don't have a bro, but I'm just saying if I did, it's not something I would do. And then
Oh, let's first go around the room. Do you have a bro?
Yeah.
You have a bro? I don't have a bro. Mm-hmm.
Damn. All right, cool. Nah, but it's not something I'll do with my bro. However, they seem to be very comfortable with it. The thing is, they know our culture, man. They know people are going to talk. You do it in a place where the society is not exactly, should I say, used to something like that. Guys would be like, relax. Because when I was watching the video, the angle I saw it from, it wasn't. There's that angle everyone has, which is close to the stage. Now there's another one, which is what I saw. It's like, everyone is cheering, then it happens, and everyone is like, eh.
How long was it? How long was the kiss? Me, I just saw a picture.
No,
That's
it
just
was
a
just
picture
like
of
a,
it.
it was like
This
a
was
pic. Like,
it was like it was like at least
like a
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Good 2
2
seconds is long, man.
Okay.
But
But just know the way they packed it.
Their lips
like-
matched. Their lips matched. It was like,
It's real.
yeah. So
it was like opening a hotel room door and you put like a
it
card.
was part of the it was part of their intro. It felt like it was staged. It was part of
True.
the intro
As in, that happened before he started performing.
before we started performing.
Wild. So why
Yeah.
why
So
did I
it was
see this
like
thing?
it's not like it just happens. Like, bro, first come on, first kissing now.
Yeah. I thought it was like at the end, like it was late, bro.
The guy
it was at the
walked in,
beginning, like he had run onto
ran
stage,
around, yes.
goes back, kisses his bro,
Then it starts.
and yeah.
What's the crowd like after that?
I don't know.
I
The
don't
video
even
is
know,
short.
man.
Okay, Maggie, do you want to say what you think?
At first I thought it was like a publicity stunt or something.
But
And
this
to
is
be honest, it
Chameleon.
might have been, but this is Chameleon.
It's
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Chameleon, bro.
this is a guy whose concert is being televised. He had people parked
was
outside for
already
his sound
paid.
check.
As in, this was literally like it was like what they call those concerts where they are acknowledging like your greatness, bro.
Right.
Like
right.
you're already the
One
biggest
number,
artist in
yeah,
the country,
right,
bro.
right.
This is a huge concert. He has nothing left to prove
Yeah,
to
yeah,
us.
yeah.
He has money. He has whatever. I don't think he was doing this for clout.
Yeah. And if he wasn't doing it for clout, then I guess that's just how they show their brotherly love to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird to me, I won't lie.
It's weird.
At first, when I
weird to
first saw
most
this
guys.
picture, I thought it was Palazzo. So, because I saw them grinding. So, if it was Palazzo, it would be like a bit less weird. Because me, I'm
Because you
thinking,
had already seen.
no, because that's not his brother.
That's his brother.
That's his brother.
Palazzo is his brother.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Palazzo,
that-
They were
Who is
Yanjas, man.
Yeah, those guys are goated. It's a goated family.
Yeah, that's
I
trust.
got it,
trust,
The
Fabi.
family
trust.
is fire.
And then I guess that's
Super
just really how
gifted.
they show their love as bros, man.
I guess it's their
Yes,
thing, man.
it's
No, but you
it's for
guys-
sure how they
but
show
you
their
guys-
love. Although before Wanda goes, I know Wanda is going to.
No. But okay,
But-
seriously, if that's how they show the love,
Yeah,
more part to the brothers, but
It's a
Bro,
bit odd.
this is what I think, man. I think that with these super creative families, there's just always a strain of weirdness. Like you don't know what the
Possibly.
weirdness is
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
But there's always some sort of weirdness, bro. And it's too difficult to find out what the origin of that weirdness is. But clearly, for these guys, the boundaries of like physical,
touch.
of showing like physical affection towards each other, I don't think that for them it's weird. But for everyone else, it's very weird. And I think because they are, all of them have been so popping, no one around them can point out the fact that it's weird. Like these guys, I think they have like followers who are just yes men. We saw a video of Chameleon just caning the guy.
True. Right.
And we know Palazzo and we know Weasel. These guys have been, I don't think anyone has ever pointed out the oddness.
I think it's something they need to explain to us though.
I think they definitely had that.
I don't think that, by the way, guys, I think that they're just weird.
No, I think
There's no way.
if they're being weird,
Uh,
let them explain it to us.
that
Oh,
us
just
this
being
is how
weird.
we show
Especially in this moment where things are a bit awkward and things have sort of taken
Okay.
a turn for the worst.
love. Okay.
They need to explain to us that, guys, this is our own reggae.
It's our own reggae.
And nobody can stop reggae.
This is our own
We've been
reggae.
kissing each other since
That's
day
what I'm
one.
saying. Since day one.
This is how we show love. This is how our
This is
dad showed
completely
love to
removed
us.
from what you guys, because
Think.
currently the debate going on is crazy. So now you guys
Yeah.
are just perpetuating that narrative in our eyes.
Mm.
It's like you guys are carrying on. It's like, guys, you're endorsing. You're like, listen. To some people think, yeah. People think, some people think they're being funded by the community. You know what I mean? To actually, just that act alone.
Bro, me actually
Something.
think, I think particularly for Weasel and Palazzo. Palazzo was married to a white girl, right?
Is.
One of the two.
I think
I think
like
that
Chameleon
I think those two. I think for some of those guys, the vibe that I've gotten from them is that there've been points in their lives when they've been removed from the culture, even if they've always benefited from it and always catered to it in terms of the music they make. Their personal lives and the morals to which they ascribe have been slightly removed, bro. So I think if you're kissing your bro in a group of white people, they might see it as, oh, he's kissing his bro. Might be a bit strange, but oh, this guy is kissing his bro. I don't know if guys here see it that way. A guy here will be like, bro, you've kissed your bro.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
That's definitely one of the things I was thinking. I was thinking these guys must be very well traveled. They have
Yeah, like,
seen
no,
really
but
exposed-
too well traveled.
guys.
That's too well traveled.
First check this out.
You know the ginger blacks. We'll talk about them.
First release that traveled.
The ginger blacks.
First release that traveled Quencher. Bro. These are guys that have been in the industry for how many years?
Yes, they are.
How do we not know these things about them all these years?
I get your point.
How do these things just start to emerge the past 2-3 years?
Guys, what if these
But to
guys
be
are,
fair, it might also be with like the proliferation of social media in this day and
I
age.
think so too.
that,
Bro,
we,
if
that
these
now
guys
like
have
they
been
have so many
kissing from
videos.
day,
We would know.
who would know?
We would know. We know. Someone would have said it. A bouquet,
That's
they
what
would
I'm
have
saying.
said it.
I don't think we'd know particularly.
Yes,
but
we would.
Okay, so you guys think that he did this on the biggest stage to send a message?
I mean,
That's part of the possibilities.
Eh.
That there was an
And-
injection of the,
Eh,
more
that
love
guy-
for you
yeah,
to just
give
go
that
and
guy
do
a
that act,
quick
because that act took
No, but
stage.
why would he pick his brother, bro? That sends the wrong message.
Yeah?
I don't even whatever agenda and what we want claim that they're spreading. I don't even them they're okay with that one, bro. They're like, yo, that's very weird for them. Also, like,
You'd rather there was someone you're comfortable with, bro.
and at the same time, it's like that one can be written off as brotherly love.
That's what I'm saying. So it just
Like
keeps...
it's in the gray area.
It's in the gray area. It's like,
It's like
let's leave you guys to play yourselves here in the middle.
I mean, there's already footage of them grinding.
Great.
No, but it is super crazy to
No,
me
no,
that
no,
they're
but
brothers.
it has to be explained. That's all I'm going to say.
okay.
Do you know
So they all has an
other people that
explanation. Yeah.
any other siblings that show love in a similar fashion in your life? Have you met anything like this?
Personally,
A kiss on the lips.
On
is
the lips?
It's
As a
that
ninja.
one there, bro. A kiss on the lips as bros. It's just somehow, bro.
The one I've seen is like a parent kissing the lips of their child. That one I've seen.
So if your dad kisses your lips, that's different.
No. I'm not saying me, but
you mean like a baby?
like a baby, like
As a baby, it's kawa. That's
Yeah.
different.
but yeah, like that one. Even
Yeah.
my dad is not. He doesn't
Okay.
subscribe to that one.
I'm
Be like,
kissing on
boss,
the
why?
lips.
On the lips, even the babies.
Wait.
It's like
Bro.
you're teaching the kid how to just kiss anyone on the lips. Like, that's his logic.
The kid could do 1 year old, 2 year old. That's
Get
different.
it?
But bro,
Yeah.
it's a good. This guy's, it looks staged, bro. The man walks on, runs around. Before he performs, the guy
That's hypes himself up.
get the thing done, and then the show starts.
Man, I don't know. That one was
Fulfill a
just,
contractual obligation.
for me.
No, but let's
listen.
leave it. Look, I honestly feel a man needs to come out and speak, especially with what's about to unfold with the whole. Because the man will do that thing again when the bill is passed,
He can't.
and the guy will just.
I think.
you
I
know
think.
what I mean?
I think like they follows
Because
next.
what happens if the bill is passed and the guy kisses the
Yeah.
next man?
Speaking of that bill brings up a second point.
Yeah, that's a second topic.
Now,
So
there's
like,
the thing.
Follow that you're confused.
First, pull up the bill, bro.
Actually, what's so
Because we're
funny?
not yet
What's so
read
funny?
it.
Just some backstory. The past few weeks, at almost every gathering that I've been to, if a religious person has come up to speak, they've been talking about the homosexual agenda, bro. Every single religious person that has been given a podium to
And
speak,
parent.
I guess even unparent, bro. it has become such a real fear. I think it's being spoken about in church, and it's causing parents to now speak about it in like the private chats, the group chats, the family prayers, the family.
Some of their own kids are coming out.
Yes, I think a lot of guys are,
and they're identifying with different pronouns and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, someone just told me a story of some prominent lady. They didn't really disclose who they were, and they said how during COVID, the kid came out, man.
Oh, the kiddo came out.
Hey, those kids have, fortunate enough to study abroad and whatnot. Your kid comes out and says, "Listen, for me, I identify as this," and you figure that everyone looks at and be like, "Yeah,
It's pushing
it's a very
that
distinguished." The one is even people who are actually pushing that.
bill. Pushing
The
that
one that's
bill.
pushing the bill. Come this guy also pushing the bill behind.
Pushing that bill. Bill is pushing. Your bill is pushing. You're pushing that bill. Easy.
What do you do, bro? What do you do?
Listen, no.
That's how you just go and revise that bill. You're like, man.
I think that topic is like a buzzword here.
It's
It's
definitely
like
a
a very,
charged
it's like a very charged word, and it definitely like polarizes people.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that like the older generation really subscribes to.
Yeah.
The homosexual agenda.
The homosexual, like being anti-homosexual, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things that the older generation are the ones that really go out and vote.
Yeah.
So that's why
It's
I
them
feel like
it's they're the hierarchy. It's them that call the shots.
exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, trust that if they were voting for this thing,
But they are going to do. They're going to vote tomorrow. No.
Yeah, so that's
Nah,
now
I'm
that's
first
the
still
point
like
of
the
it.
leaders.
Yeah.
I'm saying if it was like a population thing, trust that guys above like 45, all of them would be like, boss, me have gone to vote.
Exactly.
If they give her like a referendum,
Yeah.
it won't even get that far. But obviously, still the religious leader, Pastor Semper, comes and says how he's going to get Chameleon arrested, what. And I don't know if that's what triggered this thing.
Now,
But I know
which thing?
It had been going on for a while.
So
The agenda.
No, not the agenda. The parliament, the speaker of
I think it's
parliament,
been going for a minute.
the speaker of parliament deciding or announcing that tomorrow, or we're recording on Tuesday, so tomorrow, Wednesday, she's going to table the bill in the parliament, the anti-homosexuality bill. Now, I think I should play this thing.
As an institution of parliament, an institution of this country that passes the laws that are in this country, tomorrow we are going to bring a bill on anti-homosexuality. We will bring a bill on anti-homosexuality, and I want to request the religious leaders that this time round be there to see who is who. We will not allow an aspect of saying there was an aspect of quorum. Now we are going to vote by show of hands. You are either for homosexuality or you are against. We want to see the kind of leaders we have for this country. And I want to promise you, I will stand by that.
This thing is
By show
it's
of
being
hands.
framed. It's so
Hold on.
emotional, bro.
Hold on, let me give you a context. So in 2014, they passed an anti-homosexuality bill. I'm sure you guys remember, like the whole world being shocked at Uganda, what for being anti-homosexual. So this bill was passed in, I think, August of I think it was passed in like July of 2014. I guarantee you that almost like a week after, it was repealed. It was repealed on grounds of what she said, quorum, as in there weren't enough people to have enacted that bill, right? That's what she's saying. This time we won't have issues of quorum. Everyone has to be there, everyone has to vote. But I don't think guys fully understand what this law entails. So I want to just read for you guys a few of the clauses of this law, and you guys can react and let me know what you think. Let's see. The first one. So every law has this thing called the interpretation section, and it basically like gives the major definitions, right? So let's see. The most important one we should read is most likely homosexuality. No, that one we all know what it means. Sexual organ, I feel like, is one of the good ones that we should read. Means a vagina, penis, or any artificial sexual contraption.
What's that?
It means a vagina, penis or any artificial sexual contraption.
Is that like
so even toys,
toy?
Whatever, bro. As long as it is a sexual contraption, it is considered a sexual organ. Let me maybe read homosexuality just so we know.
Yeah.
It means same gender or same sex sexual acts. So when it says sexual acts, it's not restricted to just
because even pegging can be involved in jokes.
So now let me go to the first thing, the offense of homosexuality. Because this act is basically going to criminalize homosexuality, right? So the offense of homosexuality. A person commits the offense of homosexuality if A, he penetrates the anus or mouth of another person of the same sex with his penis or any sexual contraption. B, if he or she uses any object or sexual contraption to penetrate or stimulate sexual organ of a person of the same sex. C, if he or she touches another person with the intention of committing the act of homosexuality.
But does that include
Touches someone with the intention?
With the intention. Bro, I don't know what that even means.
That's something like
now I'm thinking
like
like
a
these things
handshake.
of where we go to the bar and like girls are in rubs.
You see, that now
it's
becomes
ambiguous.
becomes
you
complicated.
get. Yeah.
It becomes complicated, but I guess context will matter. There's also attempt to commit homosexuality.
If you'd like to listen to the full conversation, please consider subscribing to the Mob Jazz Podcast Patreon. Once you do, you'll have access to the full conversations as well as subscriber-only content. The Mob Jazz Podcast is made possible through our Patreons. If you like what we're doing here, please consider becoming one.